The roots are really giving. I've been on tour for 10 weeks. Every show that I have been in, someone has played the role before me. Whether that's Eponine, Fontaine, Veronica, Wednesday, there's always been someone who's come before me. Cinderella, I think, is the only one where no one else had done it before. But arguably, this is up for debate, I haven't followed anyone as globally iconic as Doris Day before. And so with it comes this very bizarre question. When I am on stage in this show, am I playing Calamity Jane or am I playing Doris Day? Now I know what I think my answer is. My answer is that I'm playing Calamity Jane. I've only seen Calamity Jane, the Hollywood movie with Doris Day, twice in my lifetime, and I watched it when I got this role, but then I didn't watch it again because I didn't want to find myself falling into the pitfalls of trying to replicate Doris Day's Calamity Jane. However, the general public do not see it the same way, and this is something I've come to realise over the last, 14, 15 weeks of playing this role now. And I didn't quite realise until we were 2 weeks in and we were in Manchester. It was our second week of doing this show, and I had become a little bit friendly with the guy who was working on the tills in M&S across the road from the theatre, and he knew that me and Vinny were in the show because, you know, we'd popped in a few times and my hair was always up in pin curls, which, you know, sometimes warrants questions about why I looked slightly bizarre. And on the final day of me walking into that M&S and of us doing the show in Manchester, he said, "Oh, I'm so sorry I've not been able to get a chance to see the show, but just out of curiosity, who is it playing Doris Day?" Not Calamity Jane, who is it playing Doris Day? So this is the first time I found myself in a situation where I feel like the majority of audiences are expecting me to be Carrie Hope Fletcher playing Doris Day, playing Calamity Jane. And not once during rehearsals did that ever enter my head. I was very much just rehearsing to play Calamity Jane. And don't get me wrong, I will continue to play this role that way, and I will not be trying to replicate Doris Day. Partly because I just don't think that that's what theatre should be. Actors shouldn't be trying to replicate what anyone else did before them. They should be very much focused on and allowed to put their own spin and their own stamp on a role themselves.
Press a bell and a moment later up you go in an elevator just as fast as a polecat. Climb on a tree.
But then the question is, and the problem is, am I then in danger of disappointing audiences if they're hoping to come and see someone replicate Doris Day as close as possible?
Duty tech to the fly floor, please. Duty tech to the fly floor, please. Thank you.
Duty tech to the fly floor. Now, I know that it's not everyone who thinks this way, and the majority of theatre goers are just excited to come and see the show, regardless of whether it's like the movie or not. But it has just been so interesting to see how many people have something to say about Doris Day at stage door. And that's not a complaint. I'm almost fascinated by it. I think it's so interesting to see what people want from the show and, you know, what they took away from it. And it's funny because I have been so lucky to follow in the footsteps of some seriously incredible leading ladies who originated roles like Barrett Wilbert-Weed, Krista Rodriguez, Patti LuPone, Frances Raffel. But maybe it's something to do with following someone who iconically played it in a Hollywood movie, and a very well-loved and very famous Hollywood movie. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe that's the difference. So I would love to hear what you think. When you book a ticket to see a show that is based on a famous movie, something maybe like Sound of Music or Grease, or even Calamity Jane, if you're coming to see this, I would love to know whether you're expecting to see the movie just put onto stage, or whether you're just expecting to be sort of immersed within that world and that story, no matter what form it might take. And there is no right or wrong answer. I remember when I went to see Grease at the Dominion, I hadn't really realised until I was halfway through the show that I had just been expecting to see the film on stage, and I was really confused when there were like songs in it that I thought I knew Grease inside out, and then there were songs in it where I was like, I have never heard this song before. What is going on? And don't get me wrong, I loved it. But yeah, I just hadn't quite realised that I had literally just been expecting to see a replication of the movie on stage, because that was my first time ever seeing Grease in the theatre, don't judge me. It's just something I find fascinating when you have musicals based on famous movies, and therefore what expectations there may be, that whether you know you have them or not, I guess. So let me know in the comments what your thoughts are on this, and I will see you very soon.